What is good, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're showing you guys 5 settings you need to be using in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. If you're not using these settings, you're putting yourselves at a disadvantage because you need every single thing you can do, every single advantage you can get. You gotta take it, especially in Call of Duty, especially how this game works. You kill so quickly and you die so fast. You gotta be able to get the first bullet, and when you're not getting the first bullet off, you gotta be able to have the right settings to hopefully give you the best chance to win that gunfight if you're reacting late or they get the first shot on you. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. First setting will be a graphic setting. So we're going to go to graphics, we're going to go to view, and we're going to talk about field of view and ADS field of view and what it does and what you should be using depending on the type of player and gun that you prefer to use. So I'm an AR player in this game. But I do like to get pretty active on the map, I will say. I do like to move around. So if you're one of the players that likes to move around a lot, I feel like Affected is a good thing for you. And mostly SMG players use Affected. And the reason being, if you go to Affected, you can see. But when you use Independent and you aim down sight, it zooms in more. When you use Affected, you don't zoom in at all. I'm aiming in. My screen does not change at all. But if you are a slower player who likes to post up, look over your squad, and do all that, you can go to Independent. And when you aim in, bang. You see how much that aims in? That's a huge help, especially if you are an AR player using an LMG and you're kind of just posting up. So I'd highly recommend you giving Independent a shot because it looks like the head glitch is closer. That head glitch is closer, and you're more ready for the long-range gunfight. So I would say give Independent a try if you are an AR player. And if you might have been playing on Independent this whole time, I would say you give Affected a try if you are a faster, more aggressive-paced player. And now it's time to talk to you guys about stick drift and your dead zones. Because your dead zones, if you have the wrong dead zone settings, you could be at a huge disadvantage and you could just be messing yourself up. What you want to do every single time you get a new controller, or if you have an old controller and you haven't done this before, you should do this. Always put your left stick to 0. But then with your right stick, you want to test this out a little bit. Let me show you what I do. So this controller I got is pretty new. I'm going to put that all the way down to 0. I'm going to shoot. And let's see. Does it move at all? No. This controller is not moving at all right now. So this is really good. It's at 0. I don't have to really move it up. But what you should do, if you are getting stick drift and it is moving, every time it moves, you go. So I can't find it. You go and you bump it up 1. So if it was moving, I'd put it to 1. Then I shoot again. I see if I get stick drift. You wait a couple seconds. No, it's not moving. If it is moving, you go again and you'd bump it up again to 0.2 and so on. Pretty much that's just what you want to do with the dead zones. Now, here is something that you could really mess with right now. The left stick max and the right stick max. So with your left stick max, you use your left stick to strafe like this. And what this means is when you go back to controller and you put your max to, let's say it's at, I have it at 0.9 right now. And when you put it to lower, the less you're going to have to move it for it to trigger that you're actually moving like that. So if I put it all the way to 0.5, I'm going to have to barely touch it and I'm going to be gliding very fast. So I would not recommend you go all the way down to 0.5, but I would recommend you find a good one because strafing is very important. When you strafe in a gunfight and you aim down sight, you have some good aim assist or a rotational aim assist to help you stay locked onto the target. When you're like, look how much my controller is moving just because I have it on 0.5. So I would say the sweet spot is around like 0.75, 0.8, or 0.9. It really just depends on the controller. So you kind of have to test it out and see what you're comfortable with. But it's really good to strafe in gunfights. You get that rotational aim assist, so you stay locked on to the enemy, and you're strafing back and forth to try and make them miss shots. That's the whole point of that. I think the default is like it puts it to 0.13, and what you want to do, you want to put it to 0.0 because what that means is you have to put more pressure on it, and the game reads it slower. Like if I had it all the way bumped up, I would have to push it all the way down for the game to read it, to aim in, and to shoot. So you do not want to have to wait for the game to do that. You want to put it on 0.0 to make sure it's automatic. Now, if you have digital tap triggers or smart triggers, I heard it doesn't matter if you change it, but it's still, I have digital tap triggers, which is pretty much when it goes like this. It's like mouse click triggers. It just aims in very quick, or bumpers, triggers and bumpers. I put it to 0.0 anyways, just in case. I don't want to take any risks, and that's why I use that. And now let's break down the movement behaviors. Usually the game puts you on double tap, so you have to double tap to tactical sprint. You have to hit it twice to make sure you're sprinting. So I kind of just spam my left analog stick, but you can change that to save the lifespan of your analog stick and make you run quicker. If you hit single tap sprint, you're going to start sprinting after 1. But personally, I think the best thing that you should be playing on is single tap run. Because when you're single tap running, that means you're full sprint. You're going full sprint into it, your first tap. So So that will make you run quicker, save you more time. And let's say you're trapped in a corner like this and someone's challenging you and you start sprinting, you're just going to be quicker than if you have to double tap it and then you're ready for the gunfight. Like that extra boost, that momentum boost when you jump around that corner might get you the kill and might keep you alive. So I would highly recommend you playing on single tap run. I think that's the best one to play on. In the pros, we're not allowed to, though. We have to play on the double tap run because it's kind of a cheesy advantage. But in public matches and Warzone, definitely use it. Automatic sprint. So this is one that's been in Call of Duty for a while. I think it's pretty good, especially for Warzone too, because the map's so big and running around so often. When you put automatic tactical sprint on, right when you push your left analog stick forward, you don't have to press it in. You just automatically start sprinting. Hold on here. Look at this. Automatically sprinting. This is the fastest one. Now there is some advantages to it. You get the fastest sprint automatically. You're just ready to go and sprint, but you can't walk forward at all unless you're aimed in. If you're not aimed in, you're going to sprint, which is sometimes a disadvantage because especially in this game, you want to be like ready to go. You want a burger walk is what they call a lot, where you're just like walking like this. You can go to the sides, but right when you push your stick forward, you're sprinting. So if you do sprint around a lot, you're an aggressive player, this might help. But I know it could get you killed alive using like a shotgun and stuff. You got to be ready. But if you do use an SMG, you like to get really aggro, automatic tactical sprint is a very good setting to take advantage of. Automatic sprint, you have to like, you start sprinting, but then to get the full sprint, you have to actually hit it. Like push your analog stick in instead of just, what's it called? Like pushing it forward. So that's the difference between the two. And you kind of have to adjust to the play styles for it because it can get you killed sometimes. If you try and snake like this and you have automatic attack sprint on, your gun is going to go up a lot. It's not just going to be ready to shoot. It's going to kick up like my gun is kind of doing right now. So you got to be really careful and really get used to it and know when and when not to use it in certain maps and certain areas to really use this setting. So it'll take some practice, but it's definitely worth it depending on your play style. Last but not least is going to be with the minimap and why it's so important. So right now I have round minimap shape with minimap rotation on to show you an example. You can see how I'm turning my minimap turns and stuff. So I can get close to here. Let's say I want to see more behind me. I can like kind of turn around and stuff and like focus on different areas to get more of a field of view of like mid-map or something. First, you want to switch. You do not want to use a round minimap. You want to use a square minimap because it is bigger. If you compare the two right here, let me move my webcam. It is bigger. The square minimap is bigger and sees more than the circle one. So if you turn minimap rotation off, though, your minimap doesn't move at all. You see I'm going back and forth. It's not really changing. That's why you want to have minimap rotation on. So when your character is moving around in circles and spinning around in different ways, your minimap reflects that and you could see different things. So, you know, the minimap is pretty small. These maps are pretty big. It is hard to see where your teammates are at sometimes. And you really just want to be able to see as much as you can and get as much information as possible, especially when a UAV is called in. So you could like go this way. You turn a little bit over here. Maybe someone's behind you or something. It's going to take some practice, and that's kind of more advanced stuff right there. But it's a good thing to work towards, start learning, and build a habit for that, honestly. But guys, that is going to be it for the tips and tricks. Hopefully these 5 tips and tricks helped you out. If you apply these to all your gameplay, I guarantee you will be a better Call of Duty player than you when you first started watching this video. But if you made it to the end, you are a real one. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all later. Have a fantastic night, and as always, my name is Attach, and I'm out. Peace.